Okay. Now let us see how the confidentiality service is provided. Okay, by encrypting the data between the sender and receiver using secret key algorithm. So first type of cryptographic algorithm is secret key or symmetric key algorithm. Okay. See, just you can see the words secret key or symmetric key algorithm. These two words are very important. Okay. Why the name secret key? In the sense, in this type of cryptographic algorithms, both the sender and receiver need to agree upon a shared secret key. They need to agree upon a shared secret key. No other third person should have an idea about secret key. They both need to agree upon a shared secret key. That's the way it has got the name secret key algorithm. And also the name symmetric key. The reason is the same key is used at both ends. Symmetric keys, that is the way it is got the name symmetric. That means the same key is used at both ends. If I use secret key here, the same secret key I have to use for the decryption purpose also. Okay. Now, how this is going to provide confidentiality is that, so sender and receiver, okay, they will agree upon a cryptographic algorithm that is a secret key algorithm. It can be IDEA, AES, or DS. One algorithm they identified, and they both agree upon a shared secret key. They say, yes, I am going to dispatch one document to you. I am encrypting that particular document with this particular key. They will share that particular. Let us not worry about how they are sharing the secret key. We'll come back to that particular. Once those two are identified, the plain text, whatever the plain text instance, whichever document which you want to share secretly with the other end, it will be encrypted with the shared secret key, passing through the cryptographic algorithm. What is generated? A ciphertext. Ciphertext are the encrypted text. So this ciphertext will be transmitted to the other end. Okay, it will be sent to the other end. Okay, over the channel, it is scrambled, or it is looks like garbage. So though anyone tries to intercept, they will not get anything out of it. Okay, with the Wireshark or something, if they intercept, they'll not get anything out of it. Now, once you transmit, after that, once it is received at the receiving end, you know you already agreed upon with the receiver with the shared secret key, and you also know the algorithm which you use for generating the encryption text, ciphertext. So what he will do is that he will again pass the ciphertext through the same algorithm, okay, and by giving the same key as an input. Now, when he passes this results in a plain text. That's how the sender and receiver, they agreed upon algorithm and key, and then they could securely communicate by using secret key algorithm. This is how the algorithm works. In this secret key algorithm, secret key has to be shared by both, and the same key used for encryption and decryption. So before encryption or decryption, both need to agree upon the algorithm and the key. This is how the confidentiality enabled. Now the question is, what happens if anyone tries to capture the ciphertext which is transmitted? Okay, so we are trying to transmit the ciphertext, right? So anyone, when they try to get it, they will not be able to get back the original plain text unless they try to apply very sophisticated cryptanalysis techniques, which are very, very challenging. Reason is, if I want to get the plain text from the ciphertext, I should have an idea about the algorithm as well as session key, secret key, okay, which is available only with the sender and receiver. So that's how the confidentiality is ensured. Only the two entities will be able to see. Again, the secret key algorithms are further categorized into two types: block cipher and the stream cipher. See, reason is, whenever you talk about online communication or any kind of this the communication, you may be communicating data in terms of files, raw data, which can be something like banking details, or it can be online shopping details, the data communication, or it can be the stream communication, which in terms of audio streaming or video streaming, like that. So what happens is, like, if I hold the data for more time in applying this kind of encryption algorithms and securing that, so the audio or video application behavior may get affected. Okay, you may not be able to see the constant deal across the frame so that you feel that animation effect and all, or the voice flow, proper voice flow and all, it may get affected. So in order to secure the communication, especially the streaming application communication, the different type of cryptographic algorithms are designed. They are called stream cipher. Whereas for the normal document encryption and bulk data, going MBs of data which you want to store on secondary storage device and anything like that, encrypted file system, in all the cases we can go for a block cipher. What happens is, it will wait for a block of data to come, and then over the block of data the encryption will be applied. Okay, DES, IDS and other things come under that category. Well, a stream cipher will not wait for the entire block of coming from the frame, whether it's audio frame or stream. It will just character by character, it will quickly try to apply the encryption and then push it. so that quickly you can try to get back the original things and there are no delays, so that the application behavior will be affected. Okay, RC4, seal, and in GSM protocol also A51, like that. These all come under the stream ciphers. So this is just to give an idea about data encryption standard. Okay, so what is this data encryption standard is as I told you, this is one of the secret key or symmetric key cryptographic algorithm. See, let us not worry about the internal mathematical, but just have an idea about this top level would help. So this is based on some kind of structure created by the IBM scientist. Okay, it's called Feistel structure. Okay, so what happened? It has got multiple rounds of operations with the initial permutation and the final permutation. You can just see that in this DES there are 16 rounds of operations, which has got substitution box and XOR operations internally. Okay, substitution box and SR operation. But prior to that, there is an initial permutation and the final permutation, and also a swap operation. Now just let me tell you what is this. Now what happens is data encryption standard comes under the block cipher category. That means always it will try to look for block of information to be encrypted. So what it will do is that whatever the data it is coming, it will try to take a 64-bit block, and then over that it is going to carry out this operation. So there is a, say, it will lead into one particular permutation out of that 64-bit. Okay, so resulting in out of 2 power 64, it will end up with one particular permutation out of that. And then afterwards, it will try to pass this particular thing through 16 rounds. Okay, so in each round, it will take another input, 48-bit sub key generated out of the key. I told you, key is something very important, shared secret key. From the 56-bit key, 56-bit is any cryptographic algorithm will have something, block cipher will have a block size, and also there is something called as the key size. That is the key length. Okay. So the key length helps you to identify the strength of the cryptographic algorithm also. As the key length is longer, then the algorithm is more secure. Okay, that we'll try to understand in the later slides. Okay. Now in this particular data encryption standard, so what is happening is that the input is always treated as 64-bit block. So the whatever the blocks are coming, they'll be passed through this particular operation. So it will pass through the initial permutation. After that, it will pass through 16 rounds of operations. In each round, there is something substitution, SBox and XOR operations. So they will take a sub key. Now, there is something called as a sub key generation algorithm. So from 56-bit key, 16 sub keys will be generated out of it. Generate key is nothing but sub key generation algorithm. These 16 sub keys, each will be of 48-bit. Okay, which will be passed as an argument to each of these round. Okay. So like that, once it is done, it will try to swap the left 32-bit and right 32-bit and passes through the final permutation. And this is how it will result in a 64-bit output, which is encrypted. Okay, that is how this is going to do. Now, what happens for the decryption purposes? Decryption purpose is also exactly same. Okay, same 56-bit key has to be passed as an input. Now, instead of input, now the 44-bit output will be the block given to the decryption algorithm. Only difference lies in terms of how the subkeys are given. During the decryption operation, the subkeys will be given in the reverse order, like from K16 to K1. First round will get the K16 subkey. Second round will get the K15, like that. Last round will get the K1. So once it is done, automatically we will end up with a, what is it? The decryption text, or a plain text you will get back. Okay, this is how the data encryption standard works. So all the block ciphers more or less will look as the same structure, Feistel structure, which will have multiple rounds having the SBox and the XOR operations. And the number of rounds and the key length and the block length will vary from one algorithm to the other one. Yeah, see, now people are asking some questions about some kind of bits are added. See, what happens is here internally, once again, if you look at it, after permutation, what happens is it will try to treat the 64-bit as a left 32 bits and right 32 bit. Okay, left, right 32 bit and right 32 bit along with this 48 bit together, the different operations will be carried out internally. Okay, and then it will again lead it to the 64-bit input further given to the next round. Okay, so from 64-bit will be taken as a key. From that, it will try to derive the values which are used internally in the various XOR and other operations. Okay, so there is something called a triple DES. See, now as I told you, the key length is very, very important. Okay, see, if someone tries to know the 56-bit key, it is not a difficult thing to know the plain text. The reason is, see, algorithm cannot be kept secret. So reason is, very few standard algorithms are there. Okay, see, it is not so easy for any person to design a new cryptographic algorithm in a week time or something like that. It is not possible. The reason is, see, they have to be designed thoroughly. The testing has to be happen. They have to kept in a testing period for some time. So once everyone agrees to that and there are no known vulnerabilities and it is kept in the testing period for longer years together, then only they'll come into the production or the usage. So for that reason, we have only limited number of cryptographic algorithms which are standard and which can be utilized in our systems. Okay. So for that reason, it is not possible to keep algorithm secret. So at some point of the time or the other, we will come to know the algorithm. What is that which we can keep secret is only the key. Okay, if we are telling that 56-bit is the key length, so generating 2 power 56, if you are able to do in a 1 hour time or something, so then within 1 hour, you can say that we are able to detect the key and you can break the system, right? Try that. So the key length becomes very, very. So with the evolution of the computing infrastructure and more computational power is generated, okay, so we need to worry about the key length. Okay, so 56-bit in the present scenario is no longer valid. Okay, even see some 15 years back, we used to refer to 128-bit key. Now 128-bit keys is also not valid. 256 and 512 are supposed to be the reasonably good key lengths in our present systems. Okay, so now you just have a visit to the ICICI.com or some kind of banking site like that. You look at it, they'll say all the entire communication is enabled with SSL with 256-bit key like that. They put it in the security section so that gives confidence to the customers in using that particular system. Okay, so the key lengths are very, very important. Okay, see, when DES was not able to give the required security, what people have done is people try to look for the better algorithm than that. So that's how they came out with something called the triple DES or some also called the cascaded DES. Okay, you are trying to cascade the blocks of DES so that you can try to think about the symmetric key algorithm with a better security. Okay, so what happened? 3 times the DES block is cascaded, and each block is taking a separate key which is of 56-bit length. Okay, so 56 into 3 is something like how much it will be, 168 or something like. So that much the key the length we can say that. And what happened? It is passed through 3 blocks. Plain text will pass through first block of DES with 1 key, then again the DES block in the decryption mode, and again third block in the with the key 3 will end up with ciphertext. So at the receiving end, what is done? The blocks are exchanged. You can see that decrypt, encrypt, and the keys are also K3, K2, and K1. Okay, so you'll get. So though this was popular and even the present algorithms, many people are trying to use in the packages. But the problem is it adds a lot of overhead. Okay, because it is not designed from the scratch towards designing a new algorithm, but it is a existing algorithm is used and cascaded. Okay, so that's all. But definitely it is providing better security than the DES algorithm. Okay, other prominent secret key or symmetric key algorithms are IDEA, International Data Encryption algorithm. Even some 10 years back, when we used to design the system, we used to use this algorithm. 128-bit is a key length and 8 rounds. And another popular this one secret key algorithm is Blowfish. Okay, so this is one of the popular algorithm without any known vulnerabilities. Okay, this can go up to 448-bit variable length key. Okay, and generally it is of 128-bit use, but depending on the strategic and criticality of the application, we can choose the better key length. And again, it has got 16 rounds. We can easily implement in both implement and high speed, high execution speed. Okay, it can be implemented in both hardware as well as the software. Okay, so this is the another. See, the AES is one of the good thing. Then Blowfish. Okay, AES I talk about. CAST 128 is another one. Then AES Advanced Encryption Standard, which has got variable block length and variable key length. So presently, many of our systems like people are going for this kind of AES algorithm, easy to implement in both software as well as the hardware. Okay, so